door.
Well, we went. There was a locksmith was here. We gonna come.
Because I would never open my door.
Well, we went. There was a locksmith was here. We gonna come in.
Don't y'all understand? My shit gonna be sitting outside. That shit weird. Like that shit is weird. I'm going through shit now. That shit is weird, and I ain't. Bro, this shit is weird. Shit weird, my nigga. I lost my job making it to fucking court. Did they give a fuck about that? No. I almost got locked up trying to explain my motherfucking self that I lost my motherfucking job trying to make it to motherfucking court. Don't nobody give a fuck about what y'all go through. That shit weird, my nigga. Literally weird.
What are you paying? What are you paying here?
$1,000 a fucking month, and he supposed to give me. That's what I'm saying. You evicted me for $1,000. Because I would never open my door.
Well, we would.
She said I would have never even opened my door. Ma'am, they were coming in regardless. The day has come. And she said that she went to court. So if you went to court already, then let's just go ahead and cut the BS. The judge has already informed you of the timelines, the dates, as well as the consequences. And the consequences are here. Whether or not you took them serious or not, that's a personal problem. But it's kind of funny, right? Because you have the dichotomy between he's clearly an older gentleman and she's clearly a young lady. And look how she's talking to him. I mean, she's talking to him calling him my ninja and cursing every other word that she speaks out of her mouth. It's really sad. And I think there can be some type of correlation between her demeanor, her attitude, and her results. Ultimately is what I'm saying. And that's how you end up in this situation. So she's got to address that, and she'd be wise to address it as soon as possible. But let's go ahead and let's get into the next clip. If you guys could like the video, it does help more than you know. So I would greatly appreciate it. I know it's easy to forget.
See, y'all be for real about that Section 8. Because my last post got y'all heated. Or should I say my first post. I'm a firm believer that Section 8 is meant to make or break you. You heard exactly what I said. Made me get the hell off of it. Because anytime you can be on a program that tells you exactly how much money you can bring in, how much company you can have, or how many days they can visit you, or what kind of amenities you can have on the property, it's crazy work. I really don't care what kind of money they are helping with. Because, like I said, all that energy they put into that crazy work is not for me. So, y'all can take it how you want to take it. Ride your donkey, ride your pony, and ride your right horse. Have a good time, boo. Because what I'm not going to do is let somebody tell me how much money I can make. And who can stay with me, when, where, how many days, and what kind of amenities I can have. Because if I want me a hot tub, I'm doing just that, especially if I'm paying your ass some rent, okay? Okay? If I want to have a swimming pool, I'm finna do just that, especially if I'm paying your ass some mortgage or some rent, okay? So with that being said, y'all have fun, ride it on out. Me, I don't like being told what to do, how to do it, and when to do it. So it is not for me, boo-boo. Not for me. Have fun, peace, love, and happy.
Well, let's just clear something up, right? Some confusion, possibly, that might have been injected in here. The mortgage, yes, you can have whatever amenities you want. You can put a hot tub, you can put a swimming pool, sure. But she said rent as well. And no, you can't be renting an apartment and put a hot tub in the living room. That should be kind of obvious, but I just wanted to clarify. Now, I think the whole sentiment of can't nobody tell me what to do and this, that, and the third, we can address that on another day. I don't necessarily completely agree with that. But what I will say is this, right? Sure, it's the thought of like wanting to take pride in ownership of your own situation and be responsible for yourself and be able to self-sustain, right? That should be a source of a certain degree of pride, as well as we just need to have standards, right? I think that has to be the bare minimum standard, that we take care of ourselves and we make decisions based off of what we can carry on our shoulders alone. That should be the standard. And by standard, that means that that's not something that you get to brag about. Like that's what you're supposed to do. Okay? That should be the standard, but sadly, that is not our standard. Our standard is far below that. And what you'll typically see is because our standard is so low, people will be out here bragging just because they can take care of themselves and they just are regular adults. And that's why we can't get further, in my opinion. So I think what it ultimately comes down to is standards. But I agree with her sentiment. You should be able to take care of yourself and you should be able to carry everything on your own shoulders. I don't necessarily believe or agree with the rationale of why. I think we just need to have standards for ourselves. And I think that it would be a lot easier for us to live up to those standards if we weren't nipping at our own heels. And by nipping at our own heels, I mean if we weren't putting wounds on ourselves, self-inflicted, that then made things so much harder for so much longer.
So this is the part 2 on how Section 8 is a trap. Section 8 keep you with a mindset, this little poverty mindset. Um,
Mm,
Instantly after we moved into this place, because it's got more residents that are Section 8 based, everybody looking at us like, ooh, how she got a man living with her? So they ready to tell, and they did, because they see a man and they automatically know that, oh, she gotta have Section 8 if she out here, because we all got Section 8, and if she got Section 8, she not supposed to have no man living with her. Period. They don't even Nobody even know the situation. They don't even know. It's just that knowing that you black and you got Section 8, you shouldn't be having no man live with you. Period. You should be a single mom, broke down, no family, baby daddy problems, all of that kind of stuff.
mm,
So
okay.
we had people calling the office on us left and right. Oh, he there now. Next thing you know, here come maintenance knocking at the door. How can I help you? Oh, we was no, you wasn't. You just want to be nosy and see what you can see. So here we go with this. Here we go with the nosy neighbors. Everybody want to be messy. Everybody want to tell, because they don't want you to have nothing that they don't have. And if they man can't come over, they man can't live with them, then your man shouldn't be living with you. Huh. That was just the beginning. Okay, because it's so much more where that comes from. So let's keep on going. Okay, they do this.
Before we get into the second half of the video, I just want to address the irony here, right? I think it's funny because, and also let's clear this up. Yes, there are families who can qualify for Section 8. It happens all the time. Um, it's just that a lot of times we don't necessarily conceive children out of the structure of a family. But yes, families, it can be a husband and wife and kids on Section 8. So we need to clear that up. It happens all the time, especially if like the husband's disabled or something. It really just comes down to the income, and then a lot of times the kids are the multipliers. Now, I want to address this, right? Because so many times, oh, if you see some crime or you see something go on, or somebody shot somebody, oh, don't snitch, don't snitch. Everybody's in solidarity about not snitching. But as she just mentioned, which we also see a lot, and I'll even hear people come online and say that they have no problem doing, which what I'm referring to is people will snitch about your Section 8 in a heartbeat. They'll snitch about your Section 8 in a heartbeat out of jealousy, out of envy. Isn't that snitching though? So, what's the differentiator here? Well, the differentiator is when you're talking about somebody who committed a crime and is about to do some time, there's there's no jealousy attached to that. But when you're talking about Section 8, somebody actually wants that. They desire that. They like that. And they don't have that. So now they will tell on you about that, which ultimately correlates back to selfishness. So ultimately, what I'm saying is there is a sentiment of no snitching, but it's not for the reasons that you think. People will snitch out of envy, out of jealousy, but when it comes to the worst things possible, somebody can go and shoot a child or something and people won't snitch. And I think that's incredible, but they'll snitch about this. So we just need to reevaluate our thought processes and why we do things and understand that it doesn't make no dang sense.
Certifications or recertifications, whatever you want to call them. Now they want all your business. They want to know what kind of drawers you wear, what size they is, how much you pay for. They want to know everything. Don't leave nothing out, because now they finna threaten you and tell you if you leave something out, you committing fraud, and all of this stuff. It just keeps you like, you know what I'm saying, like you don't know what to do. You don't know what to do. And
What type of tattoo is that on her hands? She got a bunch of hearts on her hand.
mind you, the more money you make, the more your rent is going to go up, the more you're not going to end up, you're going to lose your qualifications to have rent anyway. So now, before you had Section 8, you had a $560 rent that you could afford even on a bad day. Now you in an apartment that's $1,200 and you lose your Section 8. Now you got to pay $1,200 and you're going to have to move all of these things that you're like, oh my God, I don't want to lose my Section 8. Oh my God, I don't want my rent to go up neither, because if my rent go up, then there go my whole, I'm working all these hours. I'm gonna have to pay more rent, and it's just a bunch of stuff. So now you want to keep it safe. You want to stay within the income requirements.
Okay, she's starting to word salad a little bit. That's going to affect the video quality. So I have to cut in here and go ahead. We'll get in the next clip. But yes, I don't know if it's a trap. If it is a trap, it's a trap that people willingly step into. I would just say that I would say actually it's something that people take advantage of, right? People are taking advantage of it. It's just something that it's just a trade off, honestly. People are taking what they can get in the short term. It's advantageous in the short term, but it can be detrimental in the long term. So that's pretty much what I'll say about that. I mean, it's literally just a trade off like everything in life. There's going to be balance to it. If you take something in the short term, you're going to be hurt in the long term. Think about these rap artists, these singers. Whenever they get that big advance check, they pretty much have to sign that 365 deal. And if they do become one of the few who actually pop off and actually have massive success, what happens? Now all of a sudden they're wanting to go back in the contract and they want to try to threaten A&Rs and tell them, I want out of my contract, because now the figures are starting to truly become large, but there's somebody else who's reaping the benefits of that because they invested in you early. So now they get to reap the benefits on the back end. So there's ultimately just always going to be balance. So you just have to understand that, and you have to know that there are trade-offs, and you have to decide whether you want to be somebody who capitalizes in the short term, or if you want to have more of a long-term time horizon to then be able to reap some of those rewards.
It's been 7 days since I lost my food stamps. So I have not been able to afford groceries I didn't get my cash assistance for this month. Section 8 didn't pay my rent yesterday, so now I have to come up with $1,100 that I don't have. Okay, $1,100. Where am I going to come up with that? I don't have a job. I'm not looking for a job. I'm not going to get a job. I've never had a job. I'm not going to do it now. Okay. I have been in welfare benefits for 13 years, and now they decide they want to put a time limit on this. It has been 13 years that I have received almost $10,000 a month in benefits. And now you expect me to just get up and find that $10,000 somewhere else. I have 6 mouths to feed. 6 mouths. It has been a week. I have not been able to put food in this house. I now have to come up with rent. Yes, I got my nails done today. Yes, I got my eyelashes done today. Yes, I got my eyebrows done today. Okay? Because just because I can't pay my bills does not mean I have to go around looking like a bum. So yes, I did get my nails done. Sue me, okay? Sue me. $1,100 is a lot different than $80. Okay, I had $80 to get my nails and everything else done. I don't have $1,100. I have over $200,000 on my main account, and I can't get one person to help me. Not one person. When it is your responsibility as a taxpayer to support me and my children.
Ain't that ironic? People would rather, instead of coming out here looking like a bum, they would rather actually just be a bum. Be a good dressed bum. And this is something that I identified very early on. I remember I would be driving, right, in my car. And I would be driving past the bus stop. And I noticed something. And I used to tell some of my friends. And I was like, these dudes at the bus stop waiting for the bus are so fresh. They will be fresh. Fresh meaning they dress very nice. They have the newest shoes. They have the Nikes. They have the designer clothes. They have a fresh haircut. But they're on the bus. And I was like, it couldn't be more clear that they don't have their priorities in order. They don't even have transportation, but they have a $300 pair of Jordans on. And I think this is really what she's outlining. That is what a lot of people will do. And they'll do it to their own demise. And that's clearly what she's going to do. And she's even more egregious with it because I feel like she doesn't have the luxury to be able to take that stance if you have 6 kids. Because she has 6 kids, but then when the rubber meets the road, she's going to ultimately then be looking back at us like, well, what are y'all going to do about it? Are you really going to allow me to be on the street for my kids? But we'll never really get this other side. We'll never get this part because when she's telling the story and when she's saying what she needs, it's only going to start from what she needs. It's not going to start from all the things to where she could have mitigated this from the beginning. And she's not going to disclose that information. But a lot of the stories and a lot of the situations that we hear, it's all rooted from this. Not being able to have discipline and not being able to prioritize correctly and actually understand what's most important right now. So we'll leave it there for today. Y'all, again, if you could like the video, I would greatly appreciate it. Only takes a second and it actually does help out more than you know. Also, if you could hype the video, hype is a new feature that YouTube offers where it helps smaller content creators like myself. And basically, the more you hype, the more it pushes smaller content creators like it pushes the larger content creators. So you press the hype button just like you press the like button, and it'll show you the points. And because I'm a smaller content creator, we actually get more points per hype. So if you could do that, it would help a lot. Sometimes it's not there. Sometimes it only shows on mobile as well. And also Patreon's link below if you want to see self-improvement content. But until then, I'll catch you in the next video.